Welcome back to the Tool Crib. Today, I want to walk you guys through the Gerber Center Drive. Now, full disclosure, I'm a Leatherman fan, and I always have been, but that doesn't make me a Gerber hater. I've used a lot of different multi-tools from Gerber over the years. I just never really found one that convinced me enough to replace my Surge as my EDC. That being said, though, I've always given Gerber their fair shake. Now, with the anticipation of launching my channel, about 3 months ago, I purchased this as well as some other multi-tools that I'm going to be reviewing later, so that I could put it through its paces, test it out, and give you an honest opinion about what I like or don't like about the tool. Now, there's one thing that I can promise you, that if you watch my channel, what you're not going to get is somebody else's rehashed opinion. I am going to use the tool, whatever it may be, and I'm going to put it through its paces so that I can give you as an informed opinion as possible. So with that being said, let's get into it. I'd like to share with you what I found about this tool. Now, one of the features that, or the most notable feature of Gerber's, and what they're really known for, is that one-handed opening. That is as synonymous to Gerber as compound leverage is to SOG, or the beautiful fit and finish is to Victorinox. It's something that they're known for, something that they came up with and have been refining over the years. And I really think that they've done a good job on the Center Drive. Now, the pliers may not quite be as good as I'd like them to be, but they are pretty nice. And maybe my complaints are just a little bit nitpicky. The pliers on here have needle nose, regular pliers, and then your wire cutters. A couple of things that I like first. First of all, I like the spring load. It's not always a deal breaker for me on a larger multi-tool to have spring-loaded pliers. That's just a plus because I don't really have an issue with opening larger pliers without spring load. I do like spring loaded on my smaller multi-tools, but on this tool, it's just an added bonus, and it is a really nice feature. That's pretty handy, and for a lot of people, I guess if you are accustomed to that, it's pretty hard to go back to one that isn't spring loaded, but that's pretty convenient. The other thing that I like about the plier head design is it has this boxy outside edge, and the reason I like that is because I like to use my multi-tools as a reaming device when I'm cleaning out the inside of PVC and EMT to, smooth over deburr the inside edge after making a cut. And Gerber has a pretty sharp edge here. It's not sharp to the point where it's going to cut you. What I mean to say is it's pretty boxy there. And so that allows that plier head to really cut into those burrs and get them out of your way. Not everybody uses that feature. It's not something that they advertise, but it's something that I've come to use a lot and depend on my multi-tool for that on a daily basis almost. A couple of things that I don't like about the plier head. I don't know if this is just me. Maybe I got a fluky tool. I don't own a lot of Gerbers. I'm more of a Leatherman fan, but it seems to me that the tolerance on there, and if hopefully that'll pick up on camera, with my thumb and forefinger, I can actually twist that thing over about 1/16 of an inch. And that to me is a little more than what I should be able to do that with. I wish that they could get that tolerance down, get the pivot point just a little bit tighter to prevent that. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something that I noticed that I didn't care for. The other thing that I don't like, and I've seen some other reviews where guys have used these cutters as hardwire cutters and just snapped them on the first shot. Now, I haven't done that yet because I wanted to show you a tool that was undamaged first, but we are going to test that out, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to get the same results, but we're going to find out and make sure. What I do like about the design of the cutter is the fact that it's triangular. so that in the field you can actually unscrew that, flip it around, and get it into the next setting and set it down, have a brand new set of cutters in the event that you damage them in the field. That is very handy. I just wish that they would upgrade that to 154 cm instead of using carbide. We're going to try it out and see. I think that they work fine as soft wire cutters, but in a larger multi-tool, I actually do use it as hard wire cutters. Maybe in some of the smaller or medium duty tools, I wouldn't do that because, first of all, it's pretty hard on your hands when you're cutting through hard wire in a smaller tool because you have to put so much force on them. But I really need that in my larger multi-tools. And being carbide, if it's not going to hold up, that's not going to work for me. Now, the main tool and the namesake of this tool is obviously their screwdriver. Now the driver, when it comes unlocked, is liner locked in. Real nice lock too. They really did a real good job on that. And as you unfold it, it brings the bit into the center axis. So anybody who's ever worked with a multi-tool trying to drive in a driver knows that they can be kind of cumbersome at times. What the center drive does is get that axis in line with the tool so that it makes driving in fasteners a lot easier, actually. Kudos to Gerber for that. They did a great job on that, and one of the selling points for this tool, and obviously its namesake, and that is a real nice feature on this tool. Because the three main tools that I'm going to use on a multi-tool are the plier heads, or the pliers, the driver, and then the knife. And Gerber has really done well on this one because the three tools that I consider the most important on a multi-tool are all outside accessible. And they have done an excellent job on that blade too. 3 inches long, 420 high carbon steel, nice positive liner lock. Didn't come quite as sharp as I would have liked out of the factory, but it's pretty easy to put an edge on there. I wish they came out just a little sharper right out of the box, but not a huge deal breaker. It came out fairly sharp. We'll get moved around to the inside of the tools here, and to do that we open up the pliers. Now the file I haven't had a chance to use yet. It doesn't feel very aggressive to me. It has a cross-cut wood, combination wood metal file on one side, and then has just a regular single cut metal file on the other side. It doesn't feel very aggressive. I don't know how it's going to work or if it's going to work very well, but we're going to try it out and check it out and see. The next tool is an awl. Extremely sharp, that little guy. Pretty nice little awl. I don't really use awls that much, but if you need one, if you need an awl, I think that one is going to do the trick. Next tool is, I'm on the fence about. I really am. Now, first of all, I want to say congratulations and kudos to Gerber for coming up with something innovative, something new, something we haven't seen on a multi-tool before. Because what we have here is a little pry bar with a little nail nick in it. Now, I don't know how well that's going to work, and I don't know if it's going to work well on a multi-tool. Most of the time, if I'm pulling a nail, usually if it's dug out enough, I usually just use the plier head and pivot it up. I'm worried that people are going to try to put more pressure on that than what it's intended for. Now, it's a great little pry tool if you're using it to open up paint cans and stuff of that nature, but I feel like people could overdo it pretty quickly with that. It does have an integrated bottle opener in it, which is actually pretty nice. I kind of like that bottle opener. The next tool is my least favorite. The next tool is the serrated blade. Now, I like having a serrated blade on my multi-tool. I know a lot of people don't, and a lot of people it makes no difference whatsoever, but I actually use mine to cut a lot of man-made materials. So when you're trying to cut through rope, I really like the serrated blade, and my Leathermans just cut it like butter. This thing was just awful. It's just terrible. Won't cut anything. I mean, it comes super dull, and serrated blades in and of themselves are not the easiest thing in the world to sharpen in the first place. And then for it to come out of the factory dull, the Gerber lost huge points with me for that. I think if they're not able to get it sharp, then it's useless to me, and they should have replaced it with something else. I don't know what else they could have put in there, but this rescue blade does not cut it for me. It is one of the things that I like the least about this tool. On the opposite side, we have our driver holder. This is going to be for your that's pretty tight. That's going to be your driver for your standard bit that comes with it. So you get both a number 2 Phillips and a standard driver. One of the things that I'm not super keen on, and I know a lot of people are going to like it, but because I work around a lot of metal, I get a lot of metal shavings and stuff, and the driver is magnetic, has a magnetic holder in it, so that's going to get filled up with gunk pretty quick in the environments that I work in. But for those of you who don't know, it's really not that hard to fix it. A toothpick and a little bit of hot glue and a couple of minutes of your time will fix that in a hurry. For those of you who don't know, it's a little trick there. It's not a deal breaker for me. I really like friction fit a little better, but like I said, it's not a deal breaker, and maybe that's a little nitpicky. So the things that I do like the most on it are the 3 outside accessible tools. Those are the pliers, except for the carbide cutters. I like the fact that they're one-hand opening. They're spring-loaded, very, very handy. Then the driver itself, which is, you get a lot of reach with that thing. I mean, look at that. That is just a really nice tool that they put in on this multi-tool. That's probably one of the best designed drivers I've ever seen. And then the knife blade. Now the main knife blade, like I said, one-handed opening, and that's a huge thing to me. Because I use the Surge, and before that the Wave, I have pretty much always had an outside accessible knife on my multi-tool. Now I know a lot of guys don't use the main blade on their multi-tool as their knife on their main on the multi-tool as their main blade and more of a backup, but I do because I don't carry a separate knife when I'm working. Now away from work I will carry a separate knife, but my main blade at work, I want that to be accessible from the outside, and they did a really fantastic job on this. So those are the 3 high points for me, and all 3 of those are done extremely well. The others, not so much. I'm not keen on some of the other tools. I think that they were, to me, it's almost like they're afterthoughts. I mean, the file is not very aggressive. The awl is fine. I'm on the fence about the pry bar, and this blade, you might as well, I mean, that thing's good for, I guess, you got a decent butter knife there. That's about all it's good for. Guys, that is the Gerber Center Drive. Now we're going to do a little bit of testing on this, let you see what it can do. Pretty good, not too bad at all. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's just, I can't get it to cut, guys. That's just horrendous. Okay, the moment of truth. Victorinox. Nice. Let's see if we can use this little piece. SOG. Very nice. Leatherman, the Crunch. Oop. Gotta get it off that little. Okay, so that's a little shorter blade, but it gets through it. And now the Gerber. Well, it got through it, but I don't know if I'd call it a success. Let's try it with the surge. We'll use this little piece. Now that's what a sheep's foot serrated blade is supposed to do. Let's try that one more time, just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've got a 6-penny nail driven into a little piece of 2x3. But we're actually gonna try to help this out a little bit by putting a little down pressure on it. Let's see if this thing actually works. Oh my God. Yeah, that's not getting it done, boys. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so, well, kind of. Let's try this again. That little ridge kind of keeps us from... Okay, not too bad. Okay, let's give the awl a try. Yeah, that little guy works pretty good. And now the driver. I don't have any Phillips on me, so we'll switch that out for a T20. But you know what? That's pretty nice, being able to accept regular 1/4-inch bits. I think that works pretty good. A little awl to get us started. You know, it's still a multi-tool. It's not a screwdriver, but that's kind of impressive. Very little effort in that. Well, I don't have any extra metal laying around, so we're gonna use this piece of crap. Give the file a shot. Hey, you know what? I might not have given that file enough credit. That's pretty good. Crosscut does a great job. Let's try the other side. It's okay. A little smoother finish, but all in all, not a bad file at all. Let's check out its wire cutting capabilities. Well, we don't want to get it into the notch below. Let's get it up a little higher. Not bad. Yeah, I can live with that. I got a feeling this is gonna end bad. 8-penny galvanized. Oh my gosh, guys. Like nails on a chalkboard. Eugh. This is the nail that we used to test our Gerber Center Drive. Now we're gonna try it with the Leatherman Surge. Well, I don't know where it went, but there's not a mark on the surge. So, what do I think about the Center Drive? Well, I gotta tell you, they did such a great job on the outside. I mean, the one-handed opening pliers, with the exception of the carbide cutters, they're great. The driver is fantastic. The knife blade is great. One hand open, accessible from the outside. Did such a good job on all 3 of those. And then it's like everything on the inside was an afterthought. The file is not very effective. This thing, oh my gosh. I'm still a little on the fence about the pry bar. It works good as a bottle opener. and works decent as a pry bar, but I'm still on the fence about that. Kudos to Gerber for coming up with something new and innovative that we haven't seen on a multi-tool before. I like that they're thinking outside the box, and I want them to think outside the box. I want them to come up with something bigger and better to force the other manufacturers. I mean, because the only ones that benefit from all the tools being great are us as the consumers, because if everybody is competing with one another to build the best multi-tool, then, everybody on the consumer end benefits from that. Now, the all is great. It works just fine. Here's what I think. If you're on a construction site and those are the three tools that you're using the most, is it worth the money? That one-hand accessible pliers and the fact that they're spring-loaded, that excellent driver and very good knife, it's almost enough for me to say yes, that those three things are worth it. All the stuff on the inside, not so much. I don't know. I guess it's going to be in personal taste. Me personally, it's not going to replace my Surge anytime soon. They're going to have to do a lot more to this tool to make it compete with my Leatherman. But to others, there's a lot of functionality there, and it works pretty well. I mean, when you're able to get to your pliers one-handed opening on the site, and you got that spring-loaded ability, so you're not sitting there trying to finagle it open, it's a huge time saver, huge time saver. The driver as well, because you're not trying to finagle your tool around to get that fastener driven in, also a huge time saver. Nice blade on the outside. I can't say enough about the outside tools. They're really good. I'm even willing to overlook the fact that those carbide cutters are not great at all. I don't know, guys. I mean, it's really up to you. Form your own opinions. Me personally, it's not going to replace my Leatherman Surge. My name is Ben. You've been watching the Texas Tool Crib. I hope you like this video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. And if you consider subscribing, as we're going to bring you more and more tool reviews in future videos. Thanks for your time, and hope to see you in the next one.
Now, I don't want you guys leaving this video thinking that I'm a Gerber hater. So, in the infamous words of Steve Jobs, there is one more thing. Introducing the Gerber Center Drive, the only multi-tool on the market with an integrated butter spreader. You're not going to find quality like this with the Leatherman. SOG, think again. Not even Victorinox. Only Gerber gives you the standard folding butter knife. Bring your plate presentation game to a whole new level. Just look at those ridges. With Gerber, you'll be the king of the breakfast table. Up your game today. Go Gerber, or go home.